As you can see, we're here with Shane Lowry. How are you, Shane?
I'm good, thanks, yeah.
So the narrative in the build-up to the Irish Open next week is going to be the 10th Irish Open since Baltray. What are the memories of that day? Is it still vivid in the mind?
No, actually, I barely remember what I did last week, so, but no, it's, I remember it a little bit, but obviously it's a very fond, it's something that I have to look back on. That's, it's one of the, I've always said, actually, if no matter what I do in the game of golf, I think that'll be my greatest ever achievement. Winning that as an amateur was huge, and obviously it kick-started my whole career, and I've done all right since, and hopefully I can. I'd love to. I'd really love to give myself a chance to win again, and obviously I'd love to win one as a pro as well. That'd be amazing. Yeah.
I was watching back your immediate post-round interview after you won the Irish Open there earlier. You sound exactly the same. Are you the same person?
Do I sound the same?
Exactly the same.
Jeez, my friends from home will lead you to believe different. They always say my accent's changed, but I think I'm a bit of a different person now than I was then. Obviously, you get older and hopefully more mature, and but yeah, I was obviously just a very excited 22-year-old at the time, and I was really didn't know what was ahead of me, and I think I've handled it all right. I think I've managed to do okay, and I'm pretty happy. I don't think if you'd asked me to go back and do it all again, I probably wouldn't change much. I do it fairly similar, and where I'm sitting right now, I'm pretty happy the way my career and my life's been gone.
Yeah, I was about to say, if you said to 22-year-old Shane Lowry that you'd have a win on the European Tour, a win in the PGA Tour, top 10 finishes in 3 of the 4 majors, it's not bad. You probably would have taken that.
Yeah, I probably would have. I think at the time, how do I say this without sounding too cocky, I think at the time I probably didn't know how good I was at the time. I probably, thought I was okay and maybe could make a life at playing professional golf, but I probably, going forward then I realised that I could actually play the game to a high level, and I've managed to do that at certain times over my career now.
You've spoken there about the fact that your friends slag you about perhaps having changed just a little bit. You said that you don't like change too much. That was kind of more in relation to your golf game. It's been a brilliant year for you this year. Has anything changed in terms of what you put into 2019?
It's funny, I don't actually think so. I don't think I definitely haven't done much different, but I don't think I've done anything different this year. I really feel like, I've always felt, even going through my average phases of golf, I felt like, there was some good golf around the corner, and I've never obviously I get disappointed and a bit dejected when I shoot bad scores, but I never really feel like I've lost my game at any stage. I feel like, I might struggle with my putt, or maybe struggle with my putting at times. I might struggle with my chipping or my long game at times, but I've never really felt there's been a long period of bad enough golf that has led me to think that I need to change something or go to changing my swing or different coaches and stuff like that. So I don't think I've changed anything this year. I've just gone about my business the same way. I feel like I'm maybe maturing a little bit better, and I feel like my caddy has had a really great influence on me. I think he's been he's a very positive, very upbeat, very motivated person, but he's also he's very chilled, and he's great to have around, and I think he's been very good for me this year.
When you say you've had a bit more maturity this year, what does that mean?
Look, it's easier to play. I'll probably play a bit more carefree golf, like not really caring about how I do and just letting the results take care of themselves. But it's easy to do that when you win your first tournament of the year. Like I came out and I had a good 2 weeks before Abu Dhabi practice in Dubai, and I came out of the blocks flying, and I won the tournament. And from there on, I kind of said to myself, look, no matter what happens for the next few months, it's going to be a good start to the year. Like, you're after winning. That was kind of one of my big goals at the start of the year, and I think I play a little more carefree golf, and I'm a bit more mature about my bad days, and when I have a bad round, obviously I'm very disappointed, but I take it on the chin and move on, and that's probably where I've become a little bit better this year.
When do you think you play your best golf? Is it when you're the hunter rather than the hunted, for example?
I think it's easier to play your best golf when you're like that. I think when you're in front, and if you're maybe I haven't gone into too many tournaments as a favourite or expected to do very well, but I think it's harder for me to get my head around that. I think it's a bit easier. I think a lot of Irish sports and sports people are like that, aren't they? We're a little bit better when we're underdogs, and almost when you play golf with a little bit of a chip on your shoulder and like no one expects you to do well, that's when you almost get more satisfaction out of doing that.
Yeah, is there ever a sense, maybe a strange thing to say, that chip in the shoulder can almost be enhanced in terms of your mindset going into the tournaments? Because you hear people like Brian Cody sometimes say everybody wrote us off, and nobody wrote them off, and sometimes that's the culture they have to create.
That, don't they? Yeah. And they like to, the pundits from certain counties like to big up the other county they're playing at the weekend and stuff like that. So
do you feel that you do that sometimes? It's like creating that sort of mentality in your own head that there has been criticism of me or whatever.
What I try and do is I try and lower expectations as much as I can, and if it is nicer when people sort of write you off, and when you come back and you have a good week or you do well, it's nice to be able to you go away with a bit of a grin on your face then. Yeah.
Almost getting taken out by your own head there. Is it true that you don't use your own Twitter account anymore, that you've taken a step back a little bit from social media?
Yeah, I use it. No, I actually don't have it on my phone, but we use it for commercial stuff or whatever when we need to. And I use my Instagram account, but I think social media can be a bit poisonous sometimes, especially the abuse you get on it is not ideal. But I even think when you're going well, people bigging you up and telling you how great you are, you don't need that either. So it is what it is. I was always I used to love Twitter because I'm a big sports fan, and I used to it was great for news, and it was great. I used to tweet a lot about different sports and stuff like that, but yeah, look, it is what it is, and I don't do it anymore. I wasn't a fan of the negativity, I suppose. What sort of negativity would it? Would it be criticism of your game? There's a lot of stuff, poisonous stuff. People can be mean. Keyboard warriors.
Yeah.
It's
very easy for us on the outside to say that Shane Lowry is somebody who wouldn't get as much poison from keyboard warriors as other people.
You get a little bit. I'm sure. My agent has a hold on my account now. I'm sure he sees a bit of it. So, but yeah, I don't. I try and stay away from it as much as I can.
It's probably the best way to be, and then that way you can control your own mindset.
Yeah, you can. At the end of the day, I'm doing what I think is right, and I'm doing it all for my family, and I'm trying to give my friends some good days out, and that's what I do it for. I do it for obviously I love playing golf, and I'm very lucky to be doing what I'm doing. I'm very lucky to be able to earn a living from playing from doing something that I love doing, and to be able to give people even see you go I was at match at the weekend, and just to see people people come up and congratulate you. It's nice to see you can bring joy to people's faces. It's nice to be able to do that.
Yeah, because it is unusual for a golfer to be able to do that to people that, with a team sport and stuff, people have such an affiliation with a team, and it's years and years and years, whereas now after 10 years of being in the public consciousness, perhaps people start to get that through you, that the win in Abu Dhabi at the early part of the year brought happiness to a lot of people, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I think it does. I got a lot of messages of support after that. It's very nice to be able to receive that from from other sports people and other people that you admire, and friends and family. So it's I put a lot of expectation on myself to do well, and I think that's because I want to do so well so much for everyone else, really. And that's trying. Obviously it's nice for yourself when you win, because you get a lot of stuff comes with it, but to be able to go home with a trophy to my parents or my granny or my friends is nice. And
it feels like that expectation comes a bit easier to you now. It rests on your shoulders a little bit easier now. Being in contention is easier to you now.
Yeah, I think so. It definitely, I've found it easier this year being in contention. I've felt very comfortable at the top of the leaderboard the few times that I have been there. So my goal is now just to get up there as much as I can and give myself a few more chances, and you know, hopefully nobody comes along and shoots 61 on Sunday to beat me.
Just a final point. We've mentioned Abu Dhabi there. We're actually off to Abu Dhabi with Off the Ball for an Off the Ball Open at the National later on this year. For people who are interested in going, what's the course like? I presume from your perspective it's pretty beautiful.
Yeah, it's one of my favourite places in the world, but it's an amazing place. You know, the clubhouse is obviously very famous, but the golf course is great, and you know, the weather's beautiful over there, so it's a lovely place to go and play golf. It's a nice place, yeah.
In terms of the toughest courses you've played on the European Tour, where does it rank?
Yeah, the fairways are very hard to hit. It's a weird course like that. You kind of hitting across the fairways a lot. So yeah, it's. I mean, obviously, the scoring is always quite good there. It's not really one of the tougher ones, but it is one of the nicer venues that we play.
Yeah, it certainly seems that way. Shane, very best of luck for the rest of the season. It's been great catching up.
Cheers.
Yeah, there you go. Ringing endorsement from Shane Lowry for the National. We're also playing Yaz Links, which apparently is even better than the National, according to people who've played both. I have not played either of them, but if you want to play both, then come along to the first ever OTB Open. Check out offtheball.com/open. And you could come along to Abu Dhabi with us from the 17th to the 23rd of November. You could just, the easiest way to book is to put your deposit down now with Cassidy Travel, and it's going to be 5 nights in a 4-star hotel, a golf clinic with Peter Lowry, a gala dinner, and we'll have a road show in Abu Dhabi as well, with Kevin Kilban, Kieran Donaghy and Peter Lowry taking part in that, and a few more names which we'll be bringing your way in the coming days and weeks. So offtheball.com/open for all the details, or you can just ring up Cassidy Travel and book now.